I noticed. Oh. Oh no. That's
My
okay.
ultimate
Hopefully I'm
blade
here
And
is...
now.
my mic was muted the entire time too.
No.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Such a
It's
noob.
okay. It's okay. Um, so, alright, so we're gonna start off with some settings here for intermediate gameplay. One of the main things that really helped me lock in a little bit, one of the things that really helped me, you know, be more consistent with my shots was my sensitivity. A lot of players will go into Valorant having, like, never played an FPS before, never having played a lot of competitive games, or, like me, came from a game like Minecraft where your sensitivity should be higher. In Valorant, my DPI, so my dots per inch on my mouse, is 800, and my sensitivity is only 0.284. It's pretty low, but it makes it so that, like, you're just a lot more consistent and precise. So you can make micro adjustments like this really easily without having to move your mouse like the tiniest fraction of a millimeter every single time. Another setting that I want to go over is your graphics quality. This is all up to preference, but it's usually a little bit easier to focus on stuff if all your settings are on low. If you have them on high, you can kind of see, for example, like over here, especially as I get close, some textures will load into view. It can be really distracting to have stuff suddenly just on your screen that wasn't there before. And things like this dot here, if I'm like flicking to a guy and I see this, this is gonna make me confused about a body being there. So if I'm trying to flick over here, like I'm almost in the habit of flicking right here. Whereas if all of my settings are on low, then I know exactly where I need to be aiming. I know exactly that I need to be on this guy's head.
I just looked at
So,
all of my settings and they're on high.
yeah, it doesn't make a big difference usually, but I noticed that my shots got a little cleaner when I put them on low, um, versus having them on high. And I get distracted really easily. I don't know about you guys, but it's a lot easier for me to focus on a guy if there isn't a whole bunch of texture in the background. And then the last one that we want to talk about is the enemy highlight color. So default is red, and red colors actually scientifically have been shown to improve your reaction time. So seeing something that's red can make you see it a lot faster than any other color, but it's harder to see in your peripheral vision. This is even more true with purple. The purple is probably the hardest color to see, so unless you're colorblind and it's like hard for you to see the other colors, then I suggest not using purple. Yellow is the one that I use, and it's the one that you'll most often see higher level players use, just because it's so much easier to see. You know, I know, like, even if I see this cluster out of the corner of my eye, like, even if I look all the way over here and it's hidden behind the box, I can still see, like, all of them. Just because it's yellow, it's super easy for my eye to see, and it's super hard contrast against the darker body color. So those are a couple settings that might help you just a little bit with, um, you know, making shots a little easier or stuff like that. Getting as little distracted as possible.
Now, I notice your gun is on the right. My gun
Mm,
is on the left.
yes.
Why does that matter?
It can matter. Valorant is my first FPS, and before Valorant, I played Minecraft. So having my gun on the right side of my screen feels really natural and normal to me. But Brittany, what games did you play before Valorant?
I played Halo. I remember playing 007 on the 64.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did I play? I played a little bit of Fortnite before this. And Battlefield, and a lot of different FPS. And so I feel like in a lot of other FPSs, that gun is on the left hand side of the screen or the
Mm-hmm.
middle.
Yep, that's very true. So the only reason that I have it on my right side is because I didn't mind it and I'm used to it. But I'm sure that you, having played Halo especially, like you're so used to having your gun on the left side of your screen that it probably just feels a little unbalanced to have it on the right side.
Yeah, a little bit. And also, I heard if you're like right eye dominant versus left eye dominant, then that can also affect how you shoot and which side your gun is on. So if you're right eye dominant, you see predominantly out of your right eye, then having the gun on the right is going to block a lot of that view on the right hand side. And your
Mm-hmm.
natural shooting ability is going to go down because everything's getting blocked a little bit easier out of that main eye that you're trying to see out of.
Wow. You know, I didn't even know that. That's
Fun
really
fact.
interesting.
This is science.
Yeah,
We're getting
I've tried to
scientific with
switch.
this.
I wonder if I have the wrong dominant eye for left side because I've tried to switch before and it did not work out very well.
I mean,
So,
I'm sure it takes some getting used to if you do switch. I think
that's true.
playing with what you're comfortable with, like if you're brand new to Valorant or first person shooters, you could probably get away with switching back and forth and figuring out which one works for you. But if you're a very highly skilled player like you are and you've got a habit and that you've kind of developed, switching is probably just going to do more harm than good.
That's that's definitely true.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember where
A
that
lot of
setting is.
settings, it's in other, it's first person handedness and you can make it
That's what
left or
it is.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
I know it's worded a little weird, but you're right. A lot of settings are about what you're comfortable
Oh, here
with
we
and
go.
what just looks better to you. So, you know, all of these settings are just suggestions. None of them are really ones where you really have to listen to them.
I love it. Awesome. Any other settings? Any other kind of intermediate settings that you
Um,
can think of?
I can't think of any. If anyone has any that they want to ask about though, like go ahead and drop that in the comments. We're happy to answer any questions or anything.
Yes, put it in the
Um,
chat. Where
yeah,
is the
everything
chat
else is
tonight?
pretty self-explanatory and just up to what you prefer.
Awesome. Well, then the next topic on the docket is movement. So we talked a little bit about movement in the first workshop. We went super bare bones with the basics, keeping things at head height for that crosshair placement, the different types of movement. So the walk versus the run, you know, your knife is your fastest movement, and things like that, and how Valorant really penalizes for shooting and moving at the same time. So now that players have probably gotten to practice since the last workshop, we're going to go over some more intermediate strategies. And the big one that people wanted to talk about was peeking. So, what is peeking? What does it mean to peek?
Well, peeking is kind of just going to look at something. So anytime you peek an angle, you're just looking to see what's around the corner. Um, it has a lot of movement involved with it, and I figured out that once I learned how to peek a little bit better, and once I figured out what my movement should look like when I peek, um, I saw a lot of improvement with my fights personally. It went from being one-tapped to being able to one-tap.
Oh, I always get
So,
one tapped. I hate it. Whenever I peek, I get one tapped. So, I need to learn what I'm doing wrong.
yeah, so the main thing that happened to me and happens to most new players is when they peek, a lot of the time people will be holding W key while they peek. This makes it so that you just have a little bit less control over how you're peeking. If you watch higher ranked players in general, you'll notice that they'll only press their movement keys or go sideways to peek. So a big thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is letting go of W before you peek something, before you swing an angle. Um, this helps, basically, this is the foundation for every peek that we're going to talk about. You have to be out of the habit of holding W to be able to do it effectively. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is just wide swinging versus tight swinging. Actually, we should probably talk about slicing the pie versus peeling the banana first.
What? What?
Have you heard of these?
Are we gonna eat?
I hope so.
I want to eat. I
No.
want pie.
It would be nice, but these are just ways to describe how you're peaking. So, a lot of
Interesting.
the time, you'll notice that when watching people that have a little bit more experience in Valorant peak, you'll notice that they'll take a second to stop before they peak an angle. They'll put their crosshair on the wall in front of them instead of over here, and then they'll use just one fluid movement to peak. Doing this is called slicing the pie. Essentially what you're doing is you're taking a slice of your vision across the wall from here to over here, and you're making it so that you're only revealing this little slice of your vision every single time you peek. So then I want to do it a second time. So I make sure I line up my
Ah.
crosshair here where they're gonna be, right? Because if I'm over here and I peek like this, I always have to move my crosshair this way. But if I place my crosshair here first, then I don't have to move my crosshair at all when I peek. And there's a chance that they'll just be standing there and I can shoot them right away.
That's probably what I'm doing wrong.
Maybe a little bit. I had a lot of problems with that for a really long time. I think I must have been gold before I got out of the habit of just going like this all the time. And started going like this more. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is something that is probably more natural for you and is actually a pretty good way to peek an angle a lot of the time. And that's peeling the banana. So instead of taking a slice of pie every single time you peek, you're going to be actively peeling the banana from the side. So you're going to trace, it's usually called tracing the edge, but I call it peeling the banana, and I've heard it be called peeling the banana, and I think it's really funny. So
Peel,
I call it
banana.
that.
Peel, peel, banana.
I
Reminds me
love
of
that
camp.
song.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
how do
so
you do that when there's multiple openings? Like, if you're trying to, if you're coming up into an area where, I don't know if the range has a good example of what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I mean, kind of. So say, let's just pretend, right here. We've got an opening on the staircase to the left, and then we've got an open space and staircase to the right. How would you slice the pie or peel the banana with either one of those?
yeah, so a lot of my personal, like, just what I'm clearing first has to do with my familiarity with a map. So if I know that there's a doorway here, and I don't have to peek, like, all the way out from this line here, from the wall, to be able to clear it, then I'm gonna clear this first every single time. Because if there's a guy here, he can't see me if I'm right here. And if
Right.
there's a guy here, he can't see me if I'm here either. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm clearing this first. And then, a lot of the time you'll be with a teammate, so you can say something like I'm gonna clear right side, or I'm gonna swing right side, can you swing left side? And your teammate might be like, heck yeah, I'm so ready to swing that with you. And then you count down, you do your 3, 2, 1, and then you want to line up your crosshair, because every time you're in a corner, if you think about it, you're probably just gonna be sitting in the corner, right? You're probably not gonna be like at a weird angle or anything, because all you want to do is hold for when they go up here. So you're
Yeah.
probably just gonna be standing here, which means that you want your crosshair to be on their head the second you swing. So what I try to do is swing like this and pre-fire, which means
Mm.
even if they're not there, I'm still gonna left click a couple times, just so that if they are, I still get them. And they don't have time to react to me swinging because I'm not reacting. I'm being proactive, I think is the phrase that I want to use. So
Okay.
I'll usually pre-fire this and then swing the other side. This is actually a great example of what jiggle peeking can look like, is just swinging and pre-firing a little bit and then leaving. Jiggle peeking is kind of what it sounds like, you're just going like this the whole time. This gives you a lot of information without having to really commit to a fight. So if there's a guy here, if I go like this, I can see him just for a second, but he won't have time to shoot me. So it gives you the information that there's a guy there without having to fully commit to the fight there. So that's really
Okay.
helpful for if you don't have a lot of information about an angle, or if you're waiting for someone to come up here, then you can just do this repeatedly, and then the second that they get here, you're gonna know about it because you're jiggle peeking the whole time.
Okay. Is jiggle peeking the only type of peeking?
No,
What
I
other?
like jiggle peeking a lot, but jiggle peeking is definitely not the only type of peeking.
What other
There's
types
just
of peeking are there?
regular. There's also regular peeking. There isn't really a name for this. It's just slicing the pie essentially, but like maybe just doing it for one angle, because you can slice the pie just for one angle.
Okay.
You want to make sure that when you're peeking, you're not holding W while you peek. I said this earlier, and the reason for that is you peek slower because instead of just going straight this way, you're going diagonally. So it takes longer for you to be able to see past an angle than it does for the guy that's holding you, assuming that there's somebody holding you, to be able to see your shoulder. So you want to have an angle, or you want to have peeker's advantage, which means when you swing, you are prepared to take the fight and you're prepared to see the person in front of you without them being able to react to you as quickly as you can react to them. Because you're kind of primed to be able to shoot them to take that fight. The next one that I want to talk about is crouch peeking. I'm sure that a lot of you guys have heard this before, but crouch peeking can involve. It's usually a type of jiggle peeking. So basically, what you're doing is you're just crouching for a second when you peek. The point of it is to try to throw off somebody else's crosshair. If
Ah.
somebody's holding you exactly at head height and they're ready for you to peek, and you peek and you're crouched, they're gonna have to change their crosshair height, which isn't quite as natural as going left to right for a crosshair. So it throws off their crosshair, and also it gives you a lot of information so that if your jiggle peek, like, say that the other person has really good reaction time. If you jiggle peek and you're crouching, there's basically a 0% chance that they're gonna shoot you first. Because you're throwing
Oh.
off their crosshair, you're making it so that they don't have a lot of time to see you. This is more of like an information type peek. You can use it to just like pre-fire as well, like I talked about earlier. So you can crouch peek to tap fire a little bit. And this is also pretty good because it gives you like a second to be able to shoot and then immediately go back. And they aren't going to have a whole lot of time to shoot you. And even if they have good reaction time, they still have to aim lower than they were before because now you're just crouching as well.
I feel like you're so smooth with that. How do you just like go in a straight diagonal when you do
I've
it?
I've practiced a lot. I actually recommend just going in the range by yourself or in a custom by yourself and doing this over and over until you feel like you have it down. Like, this is a really good way to get used to movement in general, is just doing the same thing over and over. And then if you, yeah, if you mess up, you know, do it a couple more times until you don't mess up. There's jump peeking as well. It kind of has the same idea as crouch peeking, where you get to get a lot of information. You get to throw off their crosshair by jumping in the air instead of crouching.
That seems dangerous.
And it's kind of fun. Jump peeking?
Yes. That seems
Uh,
like
I
a good way to
wouldn't.
get shot.
I. It. So, jump peeking, you have to make sure that you're unpeeking too. If you were just jump peeking like this, then yeah, it would be super easy to get shot. So, the way that I do this is I hold, for example, W and D I jump, and then I switch to ANS while I'm in the air. So this is
Oh,
kind of
okay.
difficult at first. I think it took me like 10 minutes to actually get used to doing it. Um, but the idea is that you're doing another like jiggle peek, but you're making it so that they have to flick their crosshair up diagonally to be able to shoot you in theory.
Yeah.
And it can be really irritating for them. And once you learn how to do it, it's pretty like you don't really lose the habit of it.
Whew.
So I like to jump peek. Um, if you find that it's a little bit too difficult for you just because it's like such a fast movement and it's a little bit precise sometimes, then, the regular jiggle peeking or crouch peeking can totally work as well. Um, you still have a lot of options. And then the last one I want to talk about is
I'm not
whether you're peeking tight or peeking wide. So
Ah.
I've noticed that a lot of people in really high ranks tend to peek things really tight. So they'll hold a tight angle like this, or they'll swing really tight instead of swinging really wide. The reason for that is the wider you peek, the more of your vision you're exposing, and the more you would have to move your crosshair if there's a person farther away. So the only time that you want to think about peeking wide is, say you're running out of time for something, or you're hard hitting a sight, and you just don't have time to swing and stop every single time you peek something.
Okay.
So a lot of peeking is really situation based. If you don't have a lot of time, you're not going to be peeking stuff like this. You're not going to be, jump peeking and then slicing the pie on every single angle. So you want to be able to figure out how to wide swing without it being super detrimental to you. Something that I like to do is moving and then stopping. It's like slicing the pie, but you're doing it a whole lot quicker. So your crosshair barely even touches this wall when you're moving. I'm kind of peeling the banana, and I'm making it so that if there's a guy somewhere, my crosshair is further to my right than it is to my left in comparison to this wall. Because if I'm moving my crosshair to the left and a guy appears on my right, I don't want to have to change the direction of my crosshair. I don't want to have to move my mouse in a totally different direction than I was already looking.
Right.
So, especially if you're in a hurry and you're slicing the pie, or, maybe you're panicking a little bit. I know ranked anxiety gets the better of all of us.
I
Just
panic.
try to make sure. Yeah, I panic all the time. Um, but it really just takes a second to try to make sure that your crosshair is just make it so that it's a little farther out so that you can move your crosshair. You can just keep moving it in the same direction as you already were. It just makes it a little bit easier to be able to clear stuff.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
So, with that, you talked about angles a little bit and the line of sight.
Mhm.
So, what are specific angles that they should be looking for with peeking other than just the head height crosshair? Is there anything?
Yeah. I would say that specifically this is actually something that I think is extremely important, and by itself, like, this can get you up a rank, like, just by doing this. When you're peeking through a smoke, if you're here,
I hate smokes.
you can't see anything, but the person in front of me, in front of this smoke, can see my whole gun sticking out. So,
Oh.
a big way to prevent this is by using our peaks. Let me place this in a slightly better spot.
I was gonna say, can we be in the range together? I can't remember.
We could be in a custom, I
We
guess.
could be in a custom. But then we'd have the rounds and stuff. I was just gonna say that for showing the smoke. Like I could look at you in the smoke.
we could pause match timer.
Oh,
Here, let
yeah, let's do that.
me invite you
Let's do that.
to a custom really quick.
That way we could see the smoke view too.
It's a good idea. Alright, get in here.
Join.
Perfect. Alright. I would say just pick an agent that has smokes or something if you wanna do some smoke stuff.
Okay.
Or if you have examples with, you know, an initiator or something.
I am the beginning.
I'll be Omen.
I am the end.
Sounds good.
I think that's the only smoke I think I have unlocked.
That makes sense.
For my son.
Omen is really fun to play. I know he likes playing it.
He does.
Alright.
My ultimate is ready.
Perfect. Alright, if you want to make your way to A. I never know what my ghost key is, so I always have to manually run all the way over here. Alright. So, you can see, if I'm this close, can you see my gun?
Oh, I see a little thing peeking out. Yeah, I see like a
If I get
little
even
orange.
closer,
Oh, yep,
I
there we
can't
go.
see anything. But you can see my weapon still. So, a big thing that I want to talk about especially is how we're peeking out of smokes. So if I peek out like this, then you see me faster than I see you, because you can see my gun when I walk
Coming
out.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm slow walking out of the smoke. So what you want to make sure that you're doing, now this is a little bit easier, especially when you have teammates that can look on either side for you. But what you want to make sure you're doing is peeking sideways. So if I go like this, like you can't, can you see part of me right now?
No, I can't.
Yeah. I'm sideways and I can't see because I'm in the smoke. I'm in the wall of the smoke, which means that I have a lot more control over when you see me. So when I peek, I want to make sure that I'm looking in a direction where people will most likely be. If I'm looking this way, man, I'm looking at like 1/30th of everywhere that I could be looking.
Yeah.
If I'm looking this way, I can see all the way into tree. I can even see a little bit of Jen. I'm looking at a place where somebody will probably be there. And chances are somebody's going to be holding from this side too.
Correct.
So when you're peeking through smokes, we want to make sure that we're peeking sideways. And you can flick really fast outwards too. If you know that there's a guy, like on Jen, for example, you can peek out really quick and then flick this way, and you're already looking at him. He'll probably have an advantage over you, but he
you
can't see you
counter it.
faster than you can see them.
Yes.
Yeah. So we definitely want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we have an advantage in some way, or at least a little bit of an advantage compared to what we had before. That brings me to my next idea, which is a line of sight. Now, when I say a line of sight, I don't mean like the outlines of the bomb site or anything. I'm talking about a literal physical line of sight. So if I'm over here and I put a smoke here, I'm basically making, it was a little not deep enough, but I'm basically making a wall here, right? So Britt knows that if I'm main and she can hear me main, then all she has to do is hold this smoke, and she knows that I have to come out of this smoke somewhere. She already knows that I can't just phase through the wall over here or anything. I have to come out of this smoke. So you're making a perfect little line where she knows where she has to be looking. It's also a little bit easier for her to be able to shoot me if I peek out of this, because it's so perfectly lined up. she knows firstly that she only has to look here, but she could also be on either side of the smoke. And she's making a perfect line. Look at this. There's a perfect line from me to her. If something peeks out of this, if we're teammates and we hold this cross, both of us know that we only have to move our crosshair from here to here. Because if somebody peeks out just like Britt did there, we know exactly where we need to be able to be looking. Yep. And our crosshair is already on her forehead. So we want to make sure that when we're lining up our smokes, especially as controller players, we're making a physical wall for them to have to push through. If your smoke is like this, look at how Brittany has to hold like every single angle here. She has to hold every single side, and I can guarantee you that if I peek, look, she's not even looking at where I'm peeking from, because she doesn't know where to expect.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely make sure that if you're a controller player, you want your smokes to be making a wall, to be making a line. Yeah.
I was trying to make a wall, but that didn't work.
I saw the vision.
I saw the vision.
That's the main thing that I talk about when I talk about being a controller in general, is you want to make it as easy as possible for you to shoot somebody that comes out of the smoke. This is a perfect smoke, because she knows exactly where I'm going to peek from. She's already looking basically at where I am, regardless of which side I peek from, because she knows that she doesn't have to move her crosshair very far. And she knows that I can only come out of this specific angle between these two walls that she already made a choke point.
That's crazy. I never knew that.
Really?
Well, I never play controller. I never play smokes, so.
Yeah, you don't even have to worry about it.
No.
That makes sense.
Everybody always just asks for a smoke player, but now I see why. They really, like, change the game.
Yeah, it becomes a lot easier to hold stuff, and it makes it easier even to hit sites, you know? If you're having a hard time getting out on site, a way that you can mix it up is by putting a smoke here, so that you guys can all come out of the smoke at a different angle. And look, she doesn't even know that I'm over here.
Nope.
I'm hiding and she doesn't know. Or I can come out this way, or I can come out in the very front. There are so many different angles for me to come out and be able to hide in a little corner if I just smoke a little bit further out. You'll see these be called lurk smokes sometimes. And it's so that somebody who wants to like just be on a site or be somewhere, you know, they just have to place this smoke, and then when they swing out of it, it's kind of creating a line of sight for them too.
Hi, Juji
If
Fruit.
I swing out of this, huh?
Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat. I just saw Juji Fruit finally made it, but it's in the middle, so I'll have to catch another stream. If it happens again, it will. We will have one more in the middle of December. And then they'll always have the
17th.
replay. Yep, December 17th, and they'll always have the replay on the videos, so you can rewatch it. So don't feel bad. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, it's always nice to see you guys chat, especially.
I know the first chat was a little more active in the first workshop. We're a little quiet today.
Yeah, it is a Wednesday. I don't know if that changes anything. Maybe it was during the summer?
What day of the week did we do the last one? No, it was just in October. It's just like 2 weeks ago was our first workshop. Yeah, wasn't too long ago.
I don't know.
But total Valorant noob.
We all start somewhere. When I first started, I placed iron, you know? It's been a journey. I knew nothing about this game when I first started. I think my headshot percentage was 3%. So we all start somewhere. We all come from humble beginnings. So if I place a smoke like this, I give myself a line of sight where when I'm peeking out, I don't have to even worry about this direction. I can peek out and Brittany can't even see me at first. She'd have to actually
all the way
swing out this side.
Yeah.
So using smokes to your advantage too can be really, really helpful. In fact, one of the things I like doing is if somebody has a one-way, I don't know if this map has any one-ways anymore, But if somebody has a one-way, then you can put a smoke underneath it, and it makes it so that even though you have to peek out of a smoke, you're no longer one-wayed. So that's a little trick, a little tip that I like to give out. I guess maybe I could do it here. Yeah, so you can see my feet,
Yeah.
and I can't see you at all. But if I just put a smoke here, then I don't have to be in a one-way anymore. And I can just peek out of the smoke. And I'm still at a disadvantage, but I'm no longer in a one-way, so I at least have a chance to be able to fight whoever's in front of me instead of her just being able to shoot me right away. Because I can tell you right now, I can't see anything in here.
Shadows
His
travel.
smokes are weird. There we go.
Yeah, they're a little strange.
I
Alright,
love
well,
it. Anything else with the line of sight? Maybe like higher up angles or low angles.
I would say
like
a lot of it comes
go
down
up
to
here.
familiarity, I suppose.
maybe.
So
this map.
if I'm clearing a map, like if I'm swinging out main, then you know I'll be looking where people are gonna be. So I know that there's probably not gonna be anyone standing directly in front of dice. That's what this call out is, because there's two boxes and they kind of look like dice. But
Where do
when
you
I'm
learn
swinging-
these names?
from either playing the game or watching people play the game.
Okay.
I highly recommend watching people play the game. I learned a lot of what I know from watching various Radiant players play the game. It can be really helpful. You learn a lot of callouts really fast, and you learn what to look out for pretty fast. But I'm making sure that when I'm swinging stuff, I'm looking at where somebody is probably gonna be. And because I know what the map looks like in my mind, because I've played it so many times, I know that this is right before dice, so I'm swinging this to look at it. And I know that if somebody's gonna be anywhere by dice, they're gonna be heaven. So I'm looking at heaven the next time I swing, so that if somebody's here, chances are they're gonna be up in heaven as opposed to down below. So I'm making sure my crosshairs lined up, and I'm peeking heaven. Then the next part I'm going to peek is down here, because I know that somebody's probably going to be hell if somebody's holding sight. However, if somebody like Brit is at the top, is on heaven, I know that I don't have to move my mouse that far if I have my crosshair here. I can just move it directly up, and I'm not going to, for obvious reasons, but I could just shoot her pretty easily. This is a part of why slicing the pie is so important, because she's at such a weird spot that if I wide swing like this, first of all, my eyes are over here, so I don't even notice her if I'm looking over here. But secondly, I have to move my crosshair all the way over to be able to see her. And I bet that something that she's doing right now too is looking at where I am. So her crosshair is already where I'm gonna be peeking, which is exactly what she should be doing. Because if she looks somewhere else, she has to move her mouse super far to be able to shoot me. The whole point is being able to shoot me as quick as possible. So, yeah, just a couple more things to keep an eye out for and think about, especially when you're clearing sites. Something that I like to do, and what I tell the people I coach to do, is just to do drills by themselves. So a lot of the time, this is like one of their least favorite things to do. And it's understandable, because I also hated doing it when I first started. But I'll take the time to go into a custom lobby by myself, and I'll just peek angles over and over. Especially here, I'll peek these angles, and then I'll walk up, and I'll clear this, and I'll clear this, and then I'll jiggle peek this, and swing this, and I'm making sure that I'm slicing the pie with most of the angles, and then I go all the way back to main, and I do the entire thing again. And this helped me a lot with firstly knowing what to clear, but also being in the habit of having good movement when I clear stuff. A big thing that I often have problems with is breaking habits that I should have. So, you know, if I'm clearing this, sometimes I'll be walking forward a little bit instead of just using my A or D keys. So doing this can especially prime me to be totally in the habit of just using my sideways movement keys, of making sure that I'm peeking in a good way that'll actually benefit me, of having okay movement while I'm clearing stuff. It just puts me at an advantage, even if I'm not necessarily thinking about and putting a lot of my energy towards peeking well or having good movement.
I really like that. I feel like I need to do that more, as like a warm up, just coming into a random map and walking around because I have played faster paced first person shooters. My mind is just like, we gotta go in and we gotta shoot now. Like, you just gotta go in, and it really is a slower paced movement first person shooter. The reaction times are quick and the shooting is very quick and precise, but like the actual movement is very slow.
It definitely is, especially if you played something like Marvel Rivals or Overwatch. Man,
Oh
you
yeah,
move so much faster in those games.
it's just
It's
sheer
so much
chaos.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this is
Yeah.
very quiet, it's very intentional.
That's also why I like, you know, like 1v1ing my friends sometimes, or going into a death match and using it really intentionally. Um, Most of the reason that you have deathmatch is because it's a slower paced environment where it like gives you grace. You don't have to worry about, you know, losing ranked rating or
I've
dying
never
at the
heard
beginning of every round.
I've never heard deathmatch being called given grace before.
Um, you definitely spawn in places that
Maybe Val is more my speed than
are
Overwatch then.
difficult.
Quite possibly. Yeah. It very well could be. Um if you so Marvel Rivals, for example, or Overwatch, or like hero shooters, or even Halo, depending on the online mode that you play, they're very chaotic. All of the abilities and everything that you're doing is extremely fast paced. And there's not always a rhyme and reason to what you're doing. You're paying more attention to your ability cooldowns to get them out as fast as possible and things like that. With Valorant, it's very much more slow and intentional. You don't have a reload on your abilities. You know, there's no timer. They're not going to always come back. It's a one and done or a two and done, depending on your ability. You have a cooldown time. Some of them will come back, like Sage's heal comes back, but it's a 45-second cooldown. So the chance of getting it out twice in a round is pretty rare unless you're using it right away in the beginning. So you may not always get that extra cooldown on some of the abilities. So you have to be very methodical, not only in the thought process, but in your actual movement, which is what Ellie's talking about. It's a lot slower and intentional movement. Plus, you get that penalty when you shoot and move at the same time. So you don't want to. You need to stop while you're shooting. So it very well could be.
Yeah, you know, that's actually why I still have my shooting error graph up, because sometimes when I'm playing ranked, I'll notice that something missed and like my bullet went behind me, and I'll be like, what the heck, what just happened? But then when I look back at the VOD, especially if I'm streaming, or if right away I happen to look up, I can see that I missed because I was moving while I was shooting. So I really like to have this up here.
I'm going to expand mine really quick because I have it kind of cut off from the. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Is it? I don't even know where it is.
I've got mine up.
It's in stats at the bottom. It's shooting error. Yeah, it's a good thing to have. I put it up especially when I realized that I was having a lot of problems with moving while I shoot. I came from like Minecraft and Animal Crossing, so I was definitely not super used to the idea of holding still while you left click.
So that little graph on the right, I finally got it showing. So you can see when I do a single shot, then our doubles, triples. So
Yep,
you'll see
and then
those little bars. What do those bars
move
mean?
while you shoot, then it
Oh, the blue.
it turns blue.
It turns
yeah.
blue.
So the bars are like how inaccurate your bullets will be.
Okay.
So it's basically, you can see that it's degrees. That's how many degrees away from your crosshair the bullet might end up.
Okay.
On average. So at the very beginning, if you're not shooting, for me, when I left click, it says 0.25 degrees. So that shows the initial bullet inaccuracy that you always have on your gun when you're not shooting it. The very first bullet that you shoot has a chance of being 0.25 degrees, so a quarter of a degree away from where you're shooting, where you're left clicking. And you can see, you know, if I left click here a lot, you can see that there's actually quite a bit of spread compared to how small the bullet hole is. And that's what's being shown by your graph. Versus, you know, if I hold left click and I'm spraying, it's a whole degree away on average from where I want to be shooting. So something definitely, and if you're moving, you can see it goes to be 7 degrees, which is really far, and you can see without Brit shooting the wall, if there's a person in front of her, she is not going to be shooting them.
Yeah, we showed that last time in the range of just kind of shooting at the wall, and you could see those bullet marks. But then when you start moving, just how chaotic it is, and it's nowhere near the head height.
Yeah, and it's, even when you're just spraying your gun, you know, you can see that if you just start spraying, your first, you know, 6 or 7 bullets are gonna be pretty accurate, and then everything else isn't gonna be. So, something else that you might want to work on is being able to tap, which is something that I like to work on when I play death matches. You know, being conscious your entire death match is really important.
I'm very conscious of how much I die in deathmatch.
I don't know about how much you're dying, but being conscious of your mechanics. So how you're moving. It's easy to get caught up in how much you're dying in deathmatch and how many people you aren't killing. It's really easy to focus on something like that. But when you're playing a deathmatch, you want to use it in a way that you're learning a skill or practicing something. You know, I see a lot of the time, and I used to be like this, where people will say, I won 3 death matches in a row, and then I lost all my ranked games. I don't understand how I can win a death match in a lobby full of people that are higher ranked than me, and then not do well in my ranked games. And
it's because they're practicing the wrong kind of skill set.
Yeah, more often than not, actually, it's because I'll ask them, what are you practicing in your deathmatch? And they'll say, like, what do you mean? I'm just trying to kill people. And that doesn't really help you a whole lot. So definitely something to focus on, especially if you really are focused on getting better and getting better fairly quickly, is when you're in a deathmatch, you're given the time and the grace, and it can still be frustrating. And you can still die really fast or be spawn camped or something. But more often than not, you're given a few seconds at least to be able to, you know, you spawn. Now you have the option to do what you want. You can line up your crosshair over here. You can make sure that you're totally ready to be swinging it, and then you can swing. And then you can swing this. And then you can walk up, and you're being given, you know, all the time in the world. And you can hear people, you know, if somebody's heaven, then you'll be able to hear them and look over there. If Brit's over here and I spawn here, I'll be able to see her on the minimap too. So I know that I need to line up my crosshair here and then swing to shoot her. That's something that you're kind of given an advantage almost in deathmatch, just because you have so much time to line up your crosshair and swing, and you only have to worry about yourself the whole time instead of worrying about, you know, oh man, my teammate's swinging already. Shoot, I need to also be swinging and helping them out. So, yeah, I think deathmatch is definitely a tool, and I like to use it for stuff like that.
I love that. It also will make you feel a little less bad about yourself, I feel like. Like, I go in feeling bad all the time because I'm not winning. I'm getting maybe 10 kills in deathmatch. But if I'm going in with this intention of, like, working on my peaks or slicing the pie or very specific movements, well, then my death count or my kill count doesn't really matter because that's not what I was there to focus on that time.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that. I'll have, you know, the kids I coach, or sometimes I'll do this myself, where if I feel like I'm missing all of my shots, even if I'm being really really intentional about, you know, swinging and only shooting a couple bullets or only tapping, and that's what I'm like trying to do. I'm not crouch spraying anybody or anything, but I'm still missing a lot, even though I'm taking my time when I aim. I'll go into a deathmatch sometimes, and I'll just do this. And then maybe I'll unpeek them, and they're shooting at me, and then I'll repeek them, and I'll just trace their head the whole time. And I'll try to make sure that they can't shoot me. I'll try to, you know, try to strafe a little bit, and I'll jiggle peek them a little bit, and I'll just try to have my crosshair on their head as much as I possibly can.
I love
And
that. That would be like great to do in a custom lobby with like 2 people to just practice
yeah,
that.
it's really helpful, and I notice that when I do that especially, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm focusing on just being at their head and it becomes a habit
Intentional.
instead of focusing on
Intentionable is the word of the
intentionable.
night. I'm stealing intentionable.
I'll start using that. That was a little embarrassing, but at least it's funny. Um,
And
yeah.
the range does have a mode with the bots that you can set a random strife
Ooh,
to as well.
that is true. So if you get nervous about being in a deathmatch or something like that, maybe you get frustrated in deathmatch if you die really fast or something, then that is a really good option, is using the strafing in the bots. It just kind of forces your crosshair to want to be on somebody's head instead of, you know, when you peek, you're thinking about like shooting them and shooting at their head instead of focusing on your crosshair being on their head before you're shooting. So, you know, that can help too. If you're intentionally not getting any kills during your deathmatch, then it makes you feel a little bit better about having not gotten kills before, because you just had a deathmatch where you got one kill the whole time because you're intentionally not getting kills. So that definitely can help a little bit. I know it's helped me before. It's still something that I do. Um, I stream on Twitch, and you can see, I think, one of my recent VODs. I take a deathmatch where I'm not even shooting, and I'm just going like this and trying to have my crosshair on their head without getting shot the whole time. And then, you know, I only shoot them. I only press left click once. You know, I shoot, and then if I don't manage to hit them, then I reset. I try not to kill them. I'm just putting my crosshair on their head. And then if I feel like I'm calm enough and good enough at it to get a shot off and know that I'm gonna kill them, then I'll shoot another bullet, and then I'll see if I can kill them or not. So
I love
that can
that.
be kind of helpful. Yeah. Um,
All
yeah,
right.
it's nice for me, I think, because then I can think, if I'm already doing bad in a deathmatch too, then sometimes I'll switch to that and I'll be like, oh, I just did poorly because I was doing this thing where I wasn't getting kills. That
Yeah,
can make
that's
me
how
feel
I
a little
feel.
better.
Whenever I
Yeah.
play deathmatch, I just focus on the kills. I'm like, oh, I'm not fast enough, or I'm not quick enough, or I'm not aiming right, or I'm not doing whatever.
Hmm.
But hearing that it's kind of a different skill set, like if you're good at deathmatch, that doesn't always necessarily translate into the real game. And that they might not be they might be great at deathmatch, but not be great at the actual classic game modes.
Yeah. Yeah. I notice that a lot, especially, when newer players think like, oh, I can sit in a corner in a death match. But in deathmatch, people aren't really clearing corners. They're swinging stuff to try to get kills or try to find people to focus on whatever they're practicing. So if somebody's just sitting in a corner, of course they're going to win the death match. Of course they're going to do well. So making sure that you're not doing stuff like sitting in a corner, maybe you have fun doing that. That's totally fine. But
That
if you're
definitely
playing,
brings me back to Halo.
yeah, yeah. But if you're playing deathmatch to get better at something or to practice or warm up, then making sure that you're not playing in a way that you're getting a lot of kills that I don't want to say aren't deserved, but aren't really indicative of how well you're actually doing when being given fights or something like that.
I like it. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Small pause. Small pause for a reintroduction. Because when we started the stream, everything was on mute and silent. Because I forgot to hit unmute. That was my fault during our introduction. So, small reminder that there is a $25 gift card merch giveaway that the Gamehers is doing. So, all you have to do is click the link that they pinned in the top of the chat, and you can win that $25 gift card to their merch store. And then also, just a reintroduction to me and, of course, to Ellie. I'm Brittany, aka Pink Brit, and we did the Sips and Strats a couple weeks ago for our very first workshop. We learned those awesome foundations. That video is still on the gamehers channel if you guys want to watch it and go back down to the basics. But Ellie, aka Miss Poof here, is my wonderful friend. She is also my son's Valorant coach for a children's esports program. So she's super knowledgeable. Peak rank was radiant, and she is here giving us those intermediate/advanced strategy tips for Valorant. You guys can use that in the 1v1 me tournament that the Gamehers is going to be hosting in February. So if you want to sign up for that, just go to their socials and go to their Discord or to their app, and you can sign up for all of those events. So, with that, what's our next topic?
Our next topic, it looks like
I think buying economy.
yeah, we could talk about Sentinel stuff really quickly if we wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I think we
Let
kind
me
of
see.
touched
Wait.
lightly on the agents, but we only talked about smokes.
Yeah.
30 seconds left.
Okay. Let's see. Alright, I'm running back to A.
Wait, can I change? Should I change? Can I change my hero? How do I change?
Yeah, you can. You can if you want to. Yeah. I think
How do I
I'll
do that?
restart the next round
Okay.
if
I was like,
you
what?
if you change it.
I was like, how do I?
I think it's in cheats and then all the way at the bottom.
Oh. Who'd you pick? Who are you, Cypher? Yeah.
I'm Cypher. Yeah.
Let's go KJ.
30 seconds
Alright.
left. My ultimate is ready.
There we go.
Perfect. So, something to think about when you're playing a Sentinel is whether you want to be a Sentinel for information or you want to be a Sentinel to create what I like to call a barrier for entry. So, actually, I could swap teams. And then... Can you go A main?
Go A mate.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or I could go. I'll go A main.
Oh,
Calling my bot.
It's okay.
I
I can
recalled
make
my
it
bot.
a respawn. Hopefully it works for both of us, but we'll see. So if I die, I'll still respawn. But one of the ideas of being a sentinel is that Brit wants to make it difficult for me to be able to get on site. So go ahead and do like whatever kind of setup you want to do,
Turret out.
and then I'll try and get on site from there. And then as a sentinel, something that you want to make sure you're doing is if you have flank util, always put flank util, and always put it at a spot where it makes it the easiest for your team to know if somebody's flanking. So if I put my flank util right here, and we're not out on site yet, and they fast flank, then they don't even hit the trip and they can still see us and shoot us. So something to keep track of is keep in mind, you know, if my trip's here, then they have to walk through it or break it to be able to see me over here. So yeah. All right. Do you have your setup?
I think I have my setup.
All right. So, firstly, whoa! Don't shoot me yet.
Sorry. I got excited.
So the first thing that I'm paying attention to is that there's a KJ alarm bot, and it's already difficult for me to get on site because of this bot. So the first thing that I have to do is break it, and that also tells Brit that I'm here. She knows that I'm a main, and she knows that I've been hit by the bot a couple times, or the bot at least has seen me. So if she's already prepared, she's probably calling to her teammates that I'm A. This creates, firstly, it forces me to give her the info that I'm here, and usually multiple of my teammates will be shooting the bot at the same time, which means if at least 2 or 3 of us are shooting the bot because we see it, Brit's gonna be like, oh my gosh, team, there are at least 2 or 3 guys here. And that means that her entire team gets that information and gets to rotate, knowing that we're probably gonna hit A. The second thing that does is it gets me a little bit down on HP, which is pretty good. It just makes it a little bit more difficult for us to get on site, because now I have to worry about being low HP. It also delays us a little bit because I had to spend time shooting the bot. So if one of my teammates wants to go through cat, let me see where my... Oh.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. So if she puts an alarm bot here, then another barrier to entry is that I have to give her the info that I'm here 100% of the time if I want to make it into cat. The only thing that I could possibly do is like put a cage around it and walk around it. But in that case, Britt can see the cage and she's like, what the heck, there's a Cypher cage here. That means that Cypher is cat. You guys, there's a Cypher here. So a big idea of being a sentinel is making it either way more difficult for people to get on site or to make it so that they have to give you the information. You know, if I wanted to avoid that, I could have thrown a Cypher cage, but that's only assuming that she can't see me, you know. Maybe my teammate already put a smoke here, so then if I cage here, she can't see it. But she has the information that we're probably going to be in tree because she's being smoked off. So as a sentinel, you want to get information and you want to make it so that it takes a little bit longer. I could have just run into tree and then shot her, maybe if I'm good enough. Take a, you know, kill whoever's in here and then run onto site. But with the alarm bot, now I have to be worried about the alarm bot, what information I'm giving her. I have to actually get rid of the alarm bot, you know. Then I have to shoot this and everybody can hear me shooting my gun and now everybody knows that I'm pushed up here. So it's really good for a sentinel to be able to delay a push while getting as much information as possible at the same time. That's a lot of what you want to do with Cypher as well. If you want to go A main really quick, some of the silly trips that I like to do, there's this one, which isn't exactly a one-way. I think it's definitely still breakable. But it's hard to break, and she'd have to peek out a little bit. I think that this one is a little bit harder to see. So if you peek out here and look at this trip and try to break it.
Yeah, that's hard.
See
I
how
can't.
much time
yeah.
she has to take to be able to find it? And then she gets hit by it. So now I have the information, even if she's slow walking, that she's close enough to be able to shoot it. And she has to take all the time in the world to be able to shoot it now. That's also a good time if she's in it and I know that she's shooting the trip. I can peek her and kill her right away. Yeah.
Because I'm too busy trying to look for it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important as a sentinel to be able to use your toolkit to your advantage. And yes, a lot of being a sentinel is holding down a sight for your teammates. But if you can, be selfish with it, and if you can benefit yourself, like how I would if I put this, you know, if I put this trip down. I don't even know where I just put it. What's here? You know, I know that if I put this down, and I'm listening for Britt to be able to go into it or shoot it, then I know that I can shoot her right away, and I'm already full swung before she can look at me. So being selfish is a good thing in Valorant. Being selfish can win you rounds. You know, if it gets you a first blood, that's great. That's perfect. Yeah. Using your abilities to your advantage as well as your teammates' advantage is definitely something that you want to be thinking about as a sentinel. It's a slightly more complicated role than it seems at first, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of glory with it like there is for DPS.
That's true. I know Britt plays a lot of KJ, so she's more than familiar with how complicated the role can be.
Yes. KJ and Sage are really my mains. I am definitely a hang back and defend. Probably a little too long. Way more often than not, I'm unfortunately the last person standing. And that's never a good thing. Because I can't take on a team by myself. I'm either the first down or the last down. That's like really how it goes for me.
And that's how it goes a lot for Sentinels too.
Which is kind of okay because that information goes out to the team, and then sometimes you just got to make the sacrifice. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really important role. I think every role is important, but
I think that could be a good well, do you have any more agents stuff?
I don't think so.
Because I was going to say that's kind of a good transition into some gameplay concepts that we wanted to talk about with attacking versus defending. Because, for example, as a Sentinel and as KJ, if we were defending, I would put my bot up here like we had, you know, to let me know if somebody was coming site A, even if I am, you know, coming towards the mid, as long as I'm in range, you know. But if we were attacking, I would probably be using my bot for flanking and to make sure our team's back is covered. So where do you want to start with attacking and defending strategies?
That's a good question.
Let's start with attacking. What is as a refresher for some who have never played Valorant, what is the point of attacking? What does attacking mean?
So when I attack, let me grab my objective because I left it in my spawn. When you're attacking, basically the only thing, or the main thing that you should be worried about is planting the spike. You can win the round even if you don't kill everybody on the opposite team, just if you have the spike planted. So I have the bomb in my hand. I don't know if you can see it from here, but I'm holding it. This is probably the most important part of the game. The entire
It is
reason
the most important part of the game. I don't care
My
what
bad,
anybody says.
is the most important part of the game.
It's not the ace, it's the spike.
True. You can always win just by planting the spike. So even if all of my teammates are dead, or, you know, even if I'm also dead and everybody else on my team is dead, as long as I have the spike down and they don't defuse it, then I still won for my team. I still won us the round. So it is
And
really important.
you
You're
give
right.
everybody those credits when you plant the spike. So instead
Yeah,
of just
300.
for the entire team. And that's,
Yeah,
I think,
everybody gets 300.
so that's the only way everybody can get points other than a round win. Those are the only two ways everybody gets points. Otherwise, it is based on your eliminations.
Yeah, and actually you'll notice if you watch other people play the game, or sometimes your teammates, even once you've won, your teammate will still go to plant the bomb after you've won. Because even if you already won the round, it takes, I think, 4 seconds to plant the bomb. Yeah, it takes 4 seconds. So as long as you get the plant down, your whole team still gets the extra 300 credits.
Yep.
So it's really important to be able to plant the spike, even if you've already won the round, even if, you know, everybody else on your team is dead. Whatever happens, you want to plant the spike.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the whole objective of being an attacker is to get the spike onto site. That's basically the only reason that interactions happen in Valorant, is because if I don't get the spike down, then I lose the round, and the defenders win.
So
And it's
how
time based, so I have to do it fast
is.
too.
how much time is in a round?
Um,
2 minutes?
is it a minute 40?
Minute 40? I know, I just looked up. I think so.
Yeah, I think that's
45?
what it is.
40, 45?
I think it's a
It's not
me
a lot
check.
of time.
round length. It is a minute 40.
Okay.
Fact checked.
Fact check.
It's definitely not a lot of time, especially if you have a teammate who wants to, like, flank through mid or something. My teammate would have to start. Oh my gosh, I should probably make a ghost keybind. I would have to start all the way over here, and then I would have to manage to make it in a minute 40 all the way up here, which means I need to go all the way up through mid. I need to make sure that nobody's gonna shoot me from here or here,
Alarm bot.
or make sure that somebody's pushed up from B to shoot me. And then I have to clear this, and I'll have to clear all of this, and then I have to somehow make it. Oh no. See, I get vulnerable, and now everybody knows that I'm here, and I'm so embarrassed. Because chances are I'm gonna die before I can make it up here if I'm not, you know, very intentional about how I'm using my time. So,
Bot
yeah,
coming back.
the time definitely matters a lot. I've lost so many rounds just by not using my time correctly or wisely. So it's definitely something that you want to make sure that you have in your head.
So with attacking, what do you think makes attacking easier, or what do you think are some main objectives for attacking other than planting the spike? Is it using like heavy utility? Is it I don't know.
Yeah. I think it depends on what you're aiming to accomplish in the beginning of a round, especially. Because at the end of the round, you know, you want to be able to plant the spike because it's a free 300 credits that you give your entire team. That's great. But every single round is different. And not every round is your only objective to plant the bomb. Sometimes you want to use a round to find out information. If I don't know that the enemy sentinel plays on A, I want to be able to know where the sentinel is playing. Because if she's A, then my team is going to be like, oh my gosh, KJ's A, guys. let's go B instead because she is a pain in the butt to try and deal with, especially as an attacker. So, you definitely want to figure out if you want to accomplish, like, finding that information, and then once you do find that information, what do you want to accomplish with it, you know? What do you want to try and figure out? What do you want to try and do with the information that you have? If I know, for example, that Brit is playing A, but my teammate saw 2 people on B, 1 in market and 1 in mid pizza, or maybe 1 pushed up mid bottom, then I know that Brit is the only one who's playing A side. And then I can say to my team, KJ's alone on A, it's a pain in the butt, but if we explode out, and we manage to gang up on her and shoot her pretty early in the round, then we can take site and make sure that we get the bomb planted without her whole team being here yet. So, definitely a big part of Valorant is figuring out what you want to do with every single round. A good way to get information is called defaulting. It's where you just have different people on different parts of the map. So maybe I have, you know, one of my teammates is with me, and then one of my teammates is just holding B lobby. So they're just, maybe they're just looking, they're standing here and they're holding here, just so that they can see if somebody walks up. And then I have somebody here and somebody here. And all we're doing, you know, maybe I'm just jiggle peeking this. I'm shooting around. I'm finding the turret and shooting it. You know, maybe I know that she puts down an alarm bot right in front, so I'm just shooting this really quick, just making sure that I can get rid of some of the util that they have here. And now I know that Brit is here. I know that she has her turret up, so I'm shooting this and setting it up so that if my teammates want to go here, then we can do that, and we don't have the barrier to entry that Brit is giving us by playing KJ and by putting the turret up.
I like it.
Is that a good explanation? Is
Yeah.
that a lot of words?
It's a lot of words, but it makes sense. You know, I'm like, as you're talking about, I'm thinking back to games that I've played, and I'm like, yeah, it's very often, I'd say more times than not, instead of all of us going onto one site for defending, you know, it's 2 on one and maybe 3 on the other, or like 2 on one, 2 on the other, and 1 in the middle, or something like that. So it definitely, as you're explaining it, makes perfect sense as I like replay past matches in my head.
Yeah. And
very,
I'm sure
very common.
in previous matches you probably noticed that people would be like, you know, KJ, you can solo A, which means that you have more players to be able to play, you know, 2 on B and then 2 mid somewhere. But if you're alone on A, then that's information that's valuable to the enemy team. So sometimes maybe you'll do something where if you've played A a bunch before, then you'll switch over to the B site.
Correct.
Because we don't have the information that we need to know that you're going to be playing B this round, because we have no idea that you switch up. Maybe you played A, you know, 7 rounds in a row, so we think you're just going to be A again. Or maybe you've soloed A every single round, and then your teammates are like, you know, you're having a hard time holding it by yourself, so let's all play A this round. And we don't have that info still, because all we're doing is hitting A over and over because we know that you're here. So it's beneficial for you guys to be able to mix it up a little bit, you know, maybe 5 stack, especially if you guys have the information that all 5 of my team goes A main every single round.
Yeah.
Then you know that nobody's going to be looking anywhere else, and you know that we're all going to be here and not expecting your team to be here.
I definitely feel like as an attacker, like as a team, a big goal is to keep them guessing. Like you want to break up the pattern too, unless it's just incredibly successful. I have played games, I feel like, where you know they're going B, but they're just doing so well at taking out the entire defending team that they keep going B.
Yeah.
And so it's either A, keeping them guessing, or B, finding out what you guys do really, really well together.
Yeah, I think that information is definitely one of the most valuable things that a team can have in Valorant, regardless of if they're on offense or defense.
Yeah.
So being able to sabotage their information by switching things up, or, maybe you put a turret on A so that my team thinks that you're playing on A, but then you're playing mid instead, something like that could especially help with sabotaging the information that we have and what we're assuming based on what we see.
Placing sentry.
So how does I don't know if baiting is good to talk about now or
destroyed.
after. We can talk about it.
Yeah, we could talk about it a little bit. So, Britt, what is baiting?
It sounds like it's when you're trying to bait people to do something, like you're trying to manipulate them. You're trying to make them do something that you want them to do so that you can eliminate them, is my guess.
Yeah. So that's pretty close. When you're baiting someone, let's do you want to bait me really quick?
I don't know, maybe.
All right, let's go main.
Okay.
And let's pretend that there are people on the A site and we're on offense.
Okay. Like together?
So we're on the
Wait.
same team,
Oh,
we're on
the same team.
offense.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say that I'm low, so I say, Brit, bait me please. And you say, okay.
Okay.
And then, so I'm ready, I'm peeking first. And the idea is that I'm trying to get information about where people are while I'm baiting, while she's baiting me. So let's say I swing this, I die, I'm dead. From the guy that's right here. You can see where his bullets are coming from. I'm dead. But because you know that he's there, you can immediately swing for me and you can shoot him back and trade. So a really good instance to bait is if I'm really low and I know that if somebody shoots me once then I'm dead, then I can use that to my advantage by just letting them shoot me once. Or, trying to take a fight but knowing that I'm probably gonna lose it. Guaranteeing that Brit can just swing right after me and kill the guy instead. So something that you can do is you can bait yourself or you can bait other people. So I'm the example of baiting myself. I'm saying, Brit, please bait me. I'm gonna go in. I die. She gets a trade. It's perfect. You can also be like Brit and bait your teammates. This is a good option if you notice that one of your teammates wants to play really aggressively and is dying really fast.
That might be me.
I'm thinking of more like not caring about the fact that they're dying. I'm sure that when you die, you're more like it's an accident and you're not really
I definitely care.
super focused on, yeah.
It happens a lot. But I do care.
It happens to me a lot as well, unfortunately. I'm prone to being first-blooded. I always die first. But maybe your teammate will swing main, like maybe you're on the defending team and your teammate keeps swinging main and getting no kills and dying. And then you ask them to stop. You're like, hey man, can you stop dying right away because it's a 4v5 every round? And they're like, no, I want to get kills so bad, but they're just not winning. You can just bait them. They die first. The enemy knows that your teammate is going to swing this and die every single round, but they don't know that you're going to follow up with it. So maybe you could use that to your advantage and swing right after your teammate. Your teammate shoots something, not the enemies, they die. You can just swing right after them. You know that they're only expecting the one guy to peek every round, so you can probably get 2 kills just by peeking like that, just by baiting your teammate. Use it to your advantage. It's frustrating when your teammate is like essentially throwing. But you can use it in a way that benefits you.
I think this has happened to me a lot now that I'm thinking back. I think people literally do this in my games. But I'm the baiter. I think I die so much that they're like, yeah, I'm just gonna follow her. And then when she dies, we're gonna shoot whoever's shooting at her.
I mean, maybe
I'm the
a duelist
bait.
would be a good role for you then. You know, as a duelist, usually when you entry, you're baiting yourself for your team. That's what an entry is, you know? You get on there, you get as many kills as you can possibly get. And then when you die, your teammates can trade you.
Maybe.
Maybe that would be a crazy switch up.
That would be crazy. That would be
That'd be
crazy.
kind of
sure.
interesting.
That would be. Okay, so now talking about defending. I know you could bait on really either side of the team and attacking or defending. But we talked about the importance of attacking and getting the spike planted. What's kind of the important things with defending? Obviously, we want to defuse the spike, but is there anything else with defending that we should know about, or any tips or tricks that make defending a little bit easier? Easier might be the wrong word.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that one of the most important things to talk about when defending is, are you going to hold the site, or are you gonna give them the site? So a lot of the time, at the beginning of games especially, I'll see my defensive teammates, you know, maybe I see Brit peeking A main, and then I'm just going over here. I'm just gonna wait here. She can get on site and plant all she wants. She gets on site. She's in there. My teammates, and I'm just waiting for my teammates, and that's all I'm doing. The issue with that is it gives her the free 300 credits that her whole team can get. Oh, sorry, I'm not even looking at chat.
I know,
Dying
I was like, wait.
consistently-
Dying
Yeah.
consistently might help my teammates in certain situations. Maybe there is hope for me yet. I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it sounds like.
Really honestly, the only times where you really don't want to be dying is if you have valuable util that you can't use when you're dead. So, you know, Clove can die pretty early on in the round. I think it's a little worse for them to die early on now just because they only have one smoke at a time after they die. But it's still more valuable for a Clove to die early than it is for example, an Omen to die early. If you're like me and Brit, and you like to play a Sentinel, you know, if I have trips up, like let's say I have this trip, and then I also have like this trip, sure, whatever. The problem with me dying early with somebody shooting me is that both of my trips that I put down now have no value. And that means that I put them down for literally no reason at all. So thinking about holding space and what that can look like for you as a player is really important. If I'm peeking heaven and Brittany just shoots me immediately and I'm dead, I'm like, oh, what the heck? Now I can't use any of my util because, you know, Cypher is super important, has really good util. Now I can't use my cage that I put down, I can't use my camera, and both of my trips are bad. So if a lot of my value comes from the util that I'm using, then I want to make sure, you know, maybe I'm unpeaking, and then when Brittany goes through my tripwire, that's when I swing and shoot and have the chance of dying because I've already given value to at least one of my pieces of util. So yeah, knowing when to die and when not to die can be really important and helpful. And part of that is knowing when you want to hold space and when you want to give it up. If you're losing a site a lot by staying on the bomb site, maybe it's time to switch it up, and maybe it's time to just let them have site and retake with your whole team. If you're, you know, maybe you have one person on site and one person off site and you're losing, maybe we need to get the other person on site too. Maybe we really need to be aware of how we're holding the space. Because just letting them be able to walk up and take the site automatically puts us at a disadvantage because we're basically attacking now.
Yeah.
We have to get the spike defused and we have to kill their whole team. In
Yeah.
theory, sometimes. So, yeah, definitely thinking about, you know, has it worked to be really hardly defending? Hardly? Wait. To be really
Oh, I think
focused
I was
on
right.
defending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or has it worked to, you know, full retake with my whole team? Or is full retaking not working and now we actually do have to start holding space as opposed to letting them on site every round and we just lose? So a lot of Valorant is a lot more like intentional than it seems initially, I think. You know, your movement is really intentional.
Yes.
How you peek is intentional. How you're attacking and defending is intentional. How you're interacting with your teammates. The whole thing is, you know, not necessarily putting a conscious effort into it, but it's something that you're doing on purpose the whole time for a reason.
Yeah.
So
I would agree. It is definitely not a run and gun type of game. Even though it's quick as far as the rounds, as we said, you only get a minute and 40 seconds. Like, everything is very intentional about what you are doing.
Yep, that's very true. Oh, that's so cute. What the?
Oh my gosh!
just a
But she
raid?
is Boogie. Yes.
Whoa!
Oh, thank you so much for
30?
the raid. How
Wow.
are you,
Hi, everyone.
Boogie? What were you playing? Were you playing Apex? Hi, my loves. I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long.
Rivals. That's so fun.
Rivals. Oh my gosh, we gotta play Rivals together sometime. Rivals is definitely my jam.
Definitely a little fast-paced compared to Valorant.
Very fast paced compared to Valorant, and so we must catch up, please. Yes, I would love that. I haven't been. Honestly, this has been so great doing the workshops because I haven't been able to stream a lot lately with the job that I took on. So it's been really great just being back here, and I'm so glad that I could help provide a little bit of value for and comfort for some of the newbie Valorant players. So I think it's like super important to know that, like, even though everything is very intentional and purposeful and methodical with Valorant and it sounds a little bit intense, that like you should not be afraid as a new player to just go in and try. Everybody's got to start somewhere, you know? And so I think being able to watch these videos and have some resources like the other people in the gamehers app that you can connect with and play together would make it like so much easier to get to play as a new player. And having a wonderful coach like Ellie.
Yeah, if anybody wants some tips or anything, my DMs are open. You can find me in the gamers Discord. Yeah, I do think that it's really important to be able to see stuff like this, and you know, Brittany's a lower rank and she's, you know, a more experienced beginner, and she can explain topics to you guys in a way that's, you know, easier to understand with maybe not having as much experience as somebody like me who has, you know, an embarrassing amount of hours on the game. But, you know, even I placed iron the first time I played. So don't be scared to get started and ask for resources, ask for help from people. You know, you can make it really far if you just try a little bit and find a community that works for you, like what gamehers provides.
And Valorant is one of, we touched on this in like the first, I know the new season comes out. I'm so excited for the new season of Marvel. I know this is not a Marvel stream right now, but I'm super freaking excited. Crap, what was I gonna say? I just totally forgot. Oh!
Was it about girls?
Yes, it was about girls. I was gonna say, the thing about Valorant too is that like a majority of the player base is actually female. I think it's like 54% or something of the player base of Valorant is female, those who identify as female. So like you're already going in at an advantage of having a large female player base. So take a little solace in that, knowing at least that there's other femme-identified individuals who are playing Valorant, and they're very femme-friendly, which not a lot of games put that at the front of something that's important to them, and the Valorant game makers and developers do. So I think that's something that's really cool.
Yeah, and even yeah, Valorant themselves shows it by offering stuff like Game Changers, which is, marginalized gender tournament that they host, and it's like huge. And some of the
Mm-hmm.
best players in the world are, identify as female or identify as non-binary, and it's really important that games, especially for me, it's important that a game that I'm playing has that representation and that encouragement as a woman to want to play the game. And Valorant really provides that, and more communities provide that as well. Like gamehers, where there are spaces where women can play and feel comfortable playing and not have to worry about something like being bullied or being harassed or something along those lines that can happen in other games.
I love it. All right, so with that, we have one more topic that we kind of glazed over. Buying economy.
Yeah.
So we touched on this in the first workshop. We went over kind of the three main buying setups that there are, which is a full buy, a full save, and the pistol round. What kind of intermediate strategies are there for buying when you are past that kind of fundamental stage? You're like, okay, I need to buy this round or save this round. What are some kind of other tips and tricks and things to keep in mind during the buying economy?
Yeah, so something that's just like not quite intermediate, but a step beyond beginner is the idea of buying or saving with your team and not just for yourself. It's really difficult to pay attention to what's going on with Valorant economy when you first get started.
It's a
When you
lot.
open up your buy screen, man, there is so much to look at here. And it's really overwhelming when you first start and you have no idea what's going on here. And even now, sometimes I open my buy screen and I'm like, I have no idea what to buy. I'm gonna be freaked out about this. So, a big thing to look at when you're deciding whether you want to buy or save is, can your teammates buy or save? So, let's say like you have enough credits to buy. Let's say you want to buy a Phantom and you can buy. Oh, it's infinite abilities. I forgot.
I know.
Let me. So maybe I have enough credits to only buy this, and like I want to buy this because it's good. It's a good group of stuff to buy. Um, but let's say for example my teammate can only buy like a Stinger and light shields or something, and maybe 3 of my teammates can only buy a Stinger and light shields. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, is it worth it for all of us to have no money next round and not have the best guns this round as well as next round? Or do I want to be able to guarantee that next round we're going to have good guns even if all of us have nothing this round? So a lot of the time, I just like to go by the idea of, if one of my teammates can't buy, then we should probably force. But if 2 or more of my teammates can't full buy, then maybe we should save together. And usually what that looks like is it'll show you how much you're guaranteed the next round. So even if all of you get no kills and you don't plant the bomb and you don't win the round, it shows you how many credits you're going to get next round. And it even shows you, if you hover over this, it'll tell you how many credits you can get for certain things. So I'm thinking, as Cypher, I probably want to have, if this is 200 credits, then I probably want to have at least like 4,200 credits next round. That way I can buy a Phantom or a Vandal and full armor. And in theory, I can buy 2 of my tripwires.
I'm
This
gonna
is what I
expand
want
my
to be able to
screen a
buy.
little bit so they could see that
Oh,
left side part. And
yeah.
hello, Kiki baby. Thank you so much for joining.
Hello.
There we go. So that left part of the screen that
Perfect.
she was talking about.
Yeah. It
I don't think it's
shows
gonna
you.
show it on mine because I have the infinite on right now.
Oh no.
Uh,
I think if you hover
infinite ability.
over the little exclamation mark, it should still show up maybe.
What?
I think
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see a little better on Brittany's screen. It shows you how many you're going to get next round, and it'll explain where you can get your credits from and how you can get those credits, which is really helpful thing that Valorant does because the economy is especially confusing at first. So, yeah.
And it can help you figure out your skill set too. Like, I know as a player myself, I don't get a lot of credits for kills. I'm just not great at eliminations yet. But I'm a really great spike planter. And so that's like how I can provide value to my team and make sure that we're all getting credits and hopefully winning the round is by planting the spike.
Yeah, I really like that. Or maybe you're good at like giving your teammates assists, you know, maybe your mollies are insane and you always manage to hit a couple of them for 60 with your mollies.
Yeah.
You can get so many assists and guarantee your teammates to be a little bit more rich with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I really like that.
And so if they get the eliminations, then you can at least request that
Can I get this?
buy. And then the the credits you helped them to get, hopefully they'll repay that favor by helping you purchase your weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really important thing to bring up. You can, even if you feel like you're not bringing value to your team, or maybe it's not shown when you press tab, you can still have something called hidden impact, which can even impact your MMR, which is your matchmaking rank, which can affect your rank directly. You can plant the bomb a lot, and you can, support your teammates in the fights that they're taking just by swinging with them. And that can impact your rank, your MMR, how much money you're getting. That can be hidden impact by itself.
What is MMR
So making
for
sure
the ranked newbies?
Yeah. Oh, MMR is a little bit complicated, and Valorant's system is pretty sophisticated with it. But it's essentially...
What does it stand for?
It stands for matchmaking rank. So basically, it says like separate from what actual rank you are that's being shown, what rank should you be placed in with your games? And how well should you be performing with the ranks of people that are in your games? So,
Okay.
for example, if, let's say I'm Diamond 1 now, but a lot of my lobbies will be high Diamond, low Ascendant lobbies. That means that my matchmaking rank is higher than my actual rank, and that's beneficial to me in some ways and detrimental in other ways. Because the game thinks that I should be a higher rank than I am, and it's telling me that, which means realistically, if I perform at like an average level, then I'll rank up a little bit faster. This also means that I have harder lobbies. So it might be harder for me to do well because my MMR is higher.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it's a little bit complicated and it's a weird system at first, but basically if you just figure out how you can give some value to your team in every single game, that by itself should make your MMR go up. That by itself should tell the game that even if you're not performing well in terms of kills, you're still winning a lot and you're still doing something for your team to be able to make you win more.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're kind of coming up to our time. Should we just you want to do a swift play to close it out?
Yeah, we could do a little swift play.
Let's
That's a good idea.
Do you want to do it together or do you want to coach me?
Ooh. Does anyone in chat have any preference? Do you want to watch some live coaching, or do you want to watch us play together a little bit?
Watch a pro with a complete amateur.
Take a sip of my liquid IV really quick. My
Yes.
throat's dry now.
I know, all that talking. You've given so much awesome information, seriously. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and you know, and thank you gamehers for giving us this platform to be able to do this. Basically everything I'm saying is just stuff that I wish I had known when I started the game, because you know, I stayed in bronze longer than I wanted to stay in bronze, and it would have been nice to have this information back then instead of knowing it now from all my experience.
And this is what you actively coach and teach your team that you coach. So my son, for those of you who don't know, my son is on a VALORANT esports team. He's a middle schooler. And she is the coach. She coaches this team of, gosh, what, there's like eight boys now?
Yeah, I think there
Give
are
or take
7 currently. Yeah.
Yeah, so they are all getting the same tips and strategies and analysis when she is coaching them during their gameplay. So it's awesome to see. She's so good at what she does.
Thank you. I'm blushing over here.
I
Oh my
know. I
gosh.
wish you were on camera. I want to see you blushing.
What the?
What?
I'm
No,
too
it's true.
camera shy. I'm too camera shy.
Yeah, it's so true though. You're such a good coach. So, alrighty, yeah.
Thank you so much.
What do you want to do? If you want to we can play together. I love your banner, by the way, the Bazooka Badger.
I love Bazooka Badger. He's my favorite ever. I think he's so cute. Well, we could just play a Swift play together if you want, and then we can see what, you know, what my comms look like and stuff like that. What it looks like with us playing at our different experience levels.
Let's do it. I will probably turn the sound off. Like, I'll probably do mics off just because it's 1, Swift play, and 2, just because we're on the gamehers stream, not like my personal stream or your personal stream.
That is a really good idea.
Because you just never know what you're going to get on the other
That's
side of those
true.
mics sometimes.
Unfortunately, you can't guarantee that everyone's gonna be nice. Yeah. Alright. Well, I'm gonna instantly hover who I like to play.
That's
Because I
probably
don't mind
something-
filling a little bit.
I don't think I ever mentioned this. Yeah, once you lock in on a person, you cannot take it back.
Yeah, and especially for somebody like me, who I can play basically everything except for Initiator. I'll usually hover until, like here, I'm gonna lock in because I don't want to play an Initiator at all. So now our last
I've been playing
teammate
Tejo a little bit more.
has to. Tejo is super, like, has a really high skill ceiling.
Really?
I think he's really interesting, yeah.
I like him because I like his drone, so I like that I get to gather information and still use his like bombs or whatever they're called to like it's like herding sheep. Like I like to herd them in closer and like scare the other team.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do with him, but that's the beauty of being a newbie. I think you said this. Like, you just get to figure things out and do like unique things that other people maybe don't do.
Yeah, I wouldn't even... There are some things where I'll watch... Like, for example, the boys I coach, almost all of them are either older middle school or younger high school. And most of them have... you know, maybe a couple dozen hours on Valorant. And they'll do things in their games that I don't even think about. Like, I can't even fathom thinking about doing something like that just because I have too much experience almost. And am stuck in this mindset of only thinking about certain things. Oh, I think they're A.
Yeah, I think they are.
It's just... They're playing really slow. Yeah, they want to come out A.
Recalling my
One's
bot.
outdoor already. site. 60 fade.
Nope, that was terrible.
Last player
My sound
Okay,
was
I
down a
missed.
little bit.
I missed a lot.
I love the what's the teacher saying of those who can do, but those who can't teach. That's me.
Yeah, I mean that's true for some people. You have the concepts in your brain and you know how to convey them, and that's really important and really helpful for a lot of people. Yeah, but I think it's really unique and really nice to be able to be a new player. Sometimes I wish I could go back and do things for the first time again. Because, man, I'm not even thinking about a lot of the things that new players are thinking about.
No peeking.
Could be an arcade.
Ah, dang it. Sage got me.
Revealing area.
Spike planted.
And this is where, like, even though I'm dead, I'm still providing, like, value to my team. I've got my map up,
Taken out. Not ready.
so anything that comes up on the map,
Player standing.
Aw,
I can try
man.
to let them know of.
Yeah, that's really helpful too. Being able to communicate what my teammates can't communicate to me, or, you know, the other way around, being able to communicate to Brittany what she can't hear is really important. Because we have everybody muted, so we
And
can't hear
it's
anything that they're saying.
It's a swift play, so it doesn't quite matter in this one, but normally we would probably be calming a little bit more and saying specifically what we're pinging. For example, I was just kind of spamming pings, but normally I would say like, oh, their Sova was around the corner or over here, or Deadlock was over here doing this.
Spike down.
It looks
A.
like they want to go A.
Begins.
Yeah, I think they're going A. I have my turret at B
One's outdoor.
still.
That's Spike. That's Spike.
Spike spotted A.
Behind you with a snipe. Ooh.
They could long flank, so be careful.
I do still have my turret out. Oh god.
One's outside. Ah.
Oh god.
Back like I never left.
Ah! Oh my god.
Last player standing.
Whoa.
One reason I don't play this game, it scares me.
Our teammate shot a judge at me and I got so confused.
Revealing area.
Yeah, Valorant's a
Spike
horror
planted.
game.
Found them.
That's definitely true.
The jump scares. The jump scares. Man, I am not doing good.
Last round before the switch.
It's a swift play.
It's a
all
swift
good.
play.
It's for funsies.
Okay, I haven't put my turret at A yet, so I'm gonna do that. Not really a great place to put it here.
Maybe you could put it drop or something? Would that be silly? It could get early info. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ah, I hear a snipe.
They're gonna be
Of course they are, because I didn't go B this time.
awkward. I'm full blind.
Calling my
I'm not full blind. Fade dogs. I think they might have cut noise. They're going underneath to arcade.
Can't use that yet.
Yeah, they're a bunch arcade. They're gonna be behind our Sova.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a turret out.
Placing sentry.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. I'm scared. Oh, see, I had shooting error.
Satchel out. My territory. Victory.
Oh, dang it. They all have snipes? Is that
Spike
what's
down,
happening?
I think only.
Last player
Oh,
standing.
I died. I think only Sage
30
does.
seconds
One
left.
site, one.
Sage and Reyna. Reyna did too. I got sniped by Reyna.
Oh dang. Then
Yeah.
maybe they did.
Switching sides.
Something to think about. This is just a little quick tip. But usually on first round, people will go to the closest site. So for us, it's A because the barrier is right here. So it's the closest to get to A than it is to B.
Ah.
So you can kind of predict it that way just by which one's closest, which one's
Out.
really, really far away. They'll probably go to the closer one.
And I am setting
Are
my
you
turret
gonna-
up to watch.
Are you gonna
flank.
buy the next overpriced bundle?
Probably not. Valorant's so expensive with their skins.
Valorant is expensive.
Like, that's one thing I really like about Marvel is, one, they give you lots of opportunities to get free skins.
Yeah,
But
that's
then-
true. That's definitely very different from Valorant, where they do not like giving you free skins.
I'm working on it.
Plant the spike.
I'm working on it.
He's so impatient.
This happens to me every time I play.
One enemy remaining.
Ursuva's still pushing up. You don't know where this guy is. I guess he could flank. Oh, he's not flanking. Very nice. Our Ray's there. He
Oh, that's
peeked
cool.
when he was trying to fight me, when the Reyna was trying to fight me, my teammate peeked him so that he could get an easy kill. That's something else to think about, is if you know that somebody's facing away from you, an enemy, then you can help out your teammate by getting the free kill and shooting them.
Placing sentry.
Are we going A? Or are we going B?
It looks like your teammates want to go B, so
Well,
I'll go that
shucks.
way too. You know that at least two of us are B now.
Can't use that.
I think that saw two of us, so they know three are B.
Reloading.
I'm gonna try to get my turret out because it's on cooldown because I faced it the wrong way because I thought we were going A.
Yeah, if this was ranked, I'd call to rotate, but
Turret destroyed.
nice. We have sight.
Reloading. Eyes down.
Enemy spotted B.
One's arcade.
One enemy remaining.
Last one's unknown. I guess he could be main.
Placing swarm
I
grenade.
know where he is. There he is.
Nice! Good job.
I found him!
They should stop playing chess.
Peekaboo!
Swarm grenade out.
OMG, hi. Hi, final girl. How's it going?
OMG, hi! Okay. I'm gonna wait to know which site we're going to before I put my turret down this time.
That's fair. I noticed that we're kind of going. We went A and then B and then A, which is a bad pattern to get into. It's really predictable.
Turret out.
Oh, I should have bought, huh? I forgot this was a swift play.
Oh. Oh.
Wow, I died so fast.
I'm so scared right now.
I believe in you. He's one tap. He's one tap. What the? Teammate needs to chill out.
Okay, they're blinding me,
bullets.
but they're not coming
Looks like
out.
your teammates want to leave. Yeah, your teammates are leaving. Perfect. I definitely can't reach B from here, but that's okay. I'll do my best. Oh, one's B already.
Oh,
Probably just didn't rotate.
I'm scared.
Recalling my boss.
I'm so scared.
Can't use that yet.
30 seconds left.
Nice. I can't really smoke much for you.
Last player standing.
Wow.
No!
Down B.
So unfortunate.
That was unfortunate.
Defenders win.
All good.
Oh, that's okay. That was a fun Swift play. Well,
That was fun.
we're at our time. We're at 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Already?
I know. It kind of flew by.
Holy cow, yeah, it did.
Yeah, but it was really great. It was
I
like,
agree.
it was so much information. It's like, oh, it's great. Like, between the 3 workshops that we have, it's, I think, like a really, really good beginner, intermediate, like, information knowledge base. It goes in such a nice order too. Like, everything is really broken down for you guys, from gameplay concepts to settings to the agent overviews. So we've got one more coming up in December 17th. So we've got a little bit more time between that one. This one we wanted to get to in November before Thanksgiving. If you're in the States, if you're in Canada, you have a different Thanksgiving. But it was so much fun. Ellie, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, I had so much fun hanging out with you and teaching.
It'll be great.
I always love this. Yeah.
Yes. So if you guys want to know more details about when the next workshop is, the final workshop in December, it's going to be December 17th, like we said, and then just follow on the socials for the time or on the gamehers app. And you can also sign up to be part of their 1v1 me tournament that they are hosting, I believe in February, February, where you will go head on 1-to-1 with other players in a tournament for a $100 gift card, I believe is what they're giving away. So,
Wow.
all right. So
Very nice.
If
Yeah.
you think you can win that, Ellie, you probably could. You should join that. This was so cool.
might have
Definitely
to.
gonna go back and watch the VODs. Do it, do it, do it. So if you go to the videos on the gamehers page, those videos and the VODs are gonna be there for you guys to watch. So don't be afraid to go back, watch, learn, practice, and come to the December workshop with your questions. We are totally here for questions and topics of what you want to cover for the next workshop. So I hope to hear more from you guys in the future.
Yeah. And I'm in the gamehers Discord, so make sure if you're not in the Discord, you join that. If you have any questions or things that you want us to go over next time too, feel free to DM me. I can give you all the tips and tricks, answer all your questions, and add stuff to next month's workshop too.
Yes.
And Brittany's also in there, so
I am.
DM her. Yeah.
I am. So thank you guys so much. And thank you to our sponsors too. Liquid IV gave us some amazing drinks and they're so good. I always love Liquid IV. I drink it at work and everything too. So I have it all the time. So thank you guys so much. And you guys have an amazing night. And if you haven't entered the raffle, now is the last minute chance. So I'm going to be hitting that stream ending screen. And you'll still have a couple more minutes to click that link and enter in for a $25 merch store gift card for the gamehers. So you guys have an amazing rest of your night. Have an amazing end to your week. I hope everybody has a great week and weekend. And have a wonderful night. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yay!